So families face a series of substantial barriers when trying to save. I think first and foremost, and probably most obvious, is because of their low incomes, they don't have the resources to devote to saving. But what may be a little less obvious, but actually more consequential, is their lack of access to institutional supports. And by this I mean a place to save and an incentive to save. And these features should be fairly familiar to us. They're what supports our saving for retirement. When you're hired by an employer, they offer you a 401k and oftentimes match your own contributions. But a similar system isn't in place to support the accumulation of precautionary savings. In fact, about 17 million Americans lack the most basic building block for saving, which is an account. We would hope that federal policy that encourages savings would help compensate for some of these deficiencies that occur in the market, but what we end up finding is that it actually exacerbates them by delivering support for savings through mechanisms that are inaccessible and for purposes that are inconsistent with the savings needs that low-income families encounter. The primary vehicle for delivering support for savings is the U.S. tax code, and benefits are calculated based on a family's income tax liability. So generally, the way this works out is the higher your income, the higher your tax liability, and the higher your benefit. So this ends up creating really an upside-down system of benefit distribution, where the low-income families who are most in need of support get the fewest amount of benefits, and the upper-income households who need the least amount of support get the most amount of benefits. The purposes that are supported by these policies are generally for longer-term restricted uses, such as college or retirement, and these are certainly very critical reasons to save, but oftentimes the savings needs that low-income families have are much more immediate.